Top Cat 42. Thank you for your reply. Just want to touch on a few points regarding civilized debating. Yeah, thanks for making that point. I think what a lot of the YouTubers miss out on when they have these little debates or the drama or whatever is, you know, what they don't have is the ability to admit that they could be wrong or the ability to see things from a different angle. That's important, I think, in any debater's role or any debater's argument is the ability to admit his weak points and to, you know, in my case, admit that my news comes from reputable sources, that not all news networks, or that all news networks, I'm sorry, are biased in some way. I'm perfectly at ease with admitting that. So, yeah, it's no problem. No problem at all. Regarding your comments on Obama, you know, one of the big things that's been going down recently is trying to spin him as a socialist, and to me that's deceiving because he's not a complete egalitarian. He's not you know, trying to create a classless society. What he's doing is he's admitting the fact that we are a middle class driven society, and you know, to place an unneeded burden on that middle class, it's not smart in the long run, I think. So even though it may not seem fair for people making $250,000 per year to have to pay more, or at least not get a cut in their taxes, I don't know. I think when you're making that much money, I'm not one of them myself. When you're making that much money, there's some concept of social responsibility, I think, is the big thing. The fact that you worked hard, and yeah, you're doing pretty well, presumably, but the money you made, in all likelihood, off the middle class. You know, whether through services, through mostly services, but services, sales. I mean, you're selling to the middle class, and if you're making your money off the middle class, it seems that you should be willing to give that middle class a break, in order so that they can keep buying stuff from you or keep hiring you. To me, that makes sense. It's changing it from a top-down society to a bottom-up one, and since we are largely middle class, that whole 95% thing, I tend to agree with it. You know, and regarding your comments as to, you know, people who don't work at all, I have a hard time believing that they are such a big percentage that it's worth worrying too much about. I mean, we're a country of 300,000 or 300 million people, 280 million people. 95% of those people are, you know, in the middle class. I have a hard time believing that a significant percentage of those people, and by significant I mean more than 10%, are truly doing nothing. Like, they are productive members of society in the sense, at least, that they are not living completely off social aid. And, you know, I don't have any numbers, that could be totally wrong, but that's just me as an American sheep. That's how I view things, without numbers. So that's my thoughts on it, on his economic stance. I do agree that I don't think that his tax breaks could last forever, but I think it's a good thing to try, and we'll see how it works out. Cautiously optimistic is how I'll put it. As far as his infomercial goes, it was a little tacky, yeah. But the coolest thing about it, in my opinion, was that he did not mention John McCain. I mean, it was very much portrayed as a dialogue with the people he was addressing, and not defending himself and not setting himself apart from McCain. I think if John McCain would have made a 30-minute infomercial, it would have been all those things. It would have been how he's different from Obama, or sometimes how he's the same in the whole Me Too thing. Trying to ease the fears as he drops behind in the polls. But I don't think he could get away with not mentioning Obama if he were to make a 30-minute infomercial. And that is one of those things where that's because he hasn't been focusing, I believe, entirely on how he can help us. He's been focusing on how he can beat Obama. And that's a mistake. And that's a mistake that I don't think he should have made. And I don't think he would have made if he would have been running against any other candidate. Like I said before, Obama has been rallying, Democrats and New Democrats in ways that no other candidate has really done before. And that probably caused him to shake in his boots a little bit, and I think he did lose sight. He's no longer the maverick from Arizona. He's the candidate who wants to beat Obama. I'm really disappointed that it didn't turn out differently. But that's the way it is. I think if it would have been McCain versus, Clinton, I think McCain would have probably kicked her ass. But that's not how it turned out, and that's too bad. So thanks again for your response, video response. And I hope we can have these kind of dialogues. They're fun, and as long as we can keep it respectful, we got no problem with it. So, thanks.